Hello everyone, Michael O'Brien here from O'BrienMagic.com. I've been getting a little bit of requests from people who are interested to know how to get started in doing professional magic. That's right, how to make money performing magic for people. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about a few things, nothing groundbreaking necessarily, but it is important to know the basics and where to get started. So in this video, we're going to talk about three things. Okay, we're going to talk about discovering yourself. We're going to talk about marketing and advertising yourself, and then we're going to finally talk about getting the gig. So different ways to approach booking, whether it be for private events or for restaurant work or anything like that. So let's go ahead and take a look. All right, so first let's talk about discovering yourself. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean that if you're interested in becoming a professional in any line of business, whether it be a professional musician, maybe a juggler or a clown or anything like that, you really need to take a look at yourself and determine a few things. For example, are you ready? It's okay if you're not quite there yet. Just keep in mind that it is very important to understand the basics of what it is that you're trying to do. So for example, if you're a magician and you're interested in making money performing magic, you should understand the basics of magic. If you're doing cards, you should understand basic card techniques. If you are a coin guy, you should be understanding basic coin techniques and things like that. Also, you should know if your product is ready. So what do I mean by that? Basically, let's just say you're performing card tricks, right? You don't want to go out into the world and be performing a card trick that you haven't quite mastered yet, and then you mess up in the middle of the routine and they're paying you to be there. It's not going to look very good on your part, not only because people are going to, see that you messed up, but also, the person that hired you might be like, well, why did I hire a magician that doesn't know what he's doing, right? So it's important to understand that you need to understand the basics as well as make sure that your product is ready to go. On top of that, you need to understand what your product is worth. So it's really important to know that if you're a beginner, for example, and you've only been doing magic for maybe a year or 2 years, and you're ready to start making money performing professionally, you want to make sure that you're not charging, $3,000 for an event, because no one's gonna book you necessarily right away. And if you do get booked for an event like that for $3,000, you're not quite ready for that. It's definitely going to damage your reputation as a professional in the industry. So it's really important to understand what your product is worth. If you're not 100% sure what to charge just yet, that's okay. I suggest maybe looking around at local magicians in your area, see what they're charging and things like that. Seeing different options as far as who your target demographic is. That's a really big deal. You need to make sure that you know who you're going to be performing for. So for example, I might charge more if I'm doing a corporate event versus if I'm doing a little girl's birthday party, for example. So different things to take into consideration. And last but not least, along those lines of thinking, you want to know who your target audience is. Now, for me personally, I tend to market myself towards an older audience and more of a professional atmosphere. I like to do corporate work, restaurant magic, things like this. Of course, I'll book private shows as well, but the way that I market myself is very much for that specific demographic. So if you're more comfortable performing magic for kids, maybe you want to focus on tricks that will play big for children's events, things like that. We'll talk a little bit more about that when we get into the marketing portion. But it is really important to understand, who your audience is going to be when you're figuring out whether it be pricing or just, the types of effects that you want to perform. That's very important. So now that you've discovered yourself, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about how to market yourself. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about the advertising and marketing portion of this video. So you've already discovered yourself, you've determined that you're ready, you're comfortable performing in front of people, you have a product that you've been working on for a while and that you've perfected. You know about what you're going to charge people, give or take. Maybe you're still experimenting with it, but that's okay. And you also understand who your target audience is. All right, so now let's figure out how to get your name out there so you can start booking shows, okay? We're going to talk about a few different things. To keep this video as short as possible, I'm not going to go into excruciating detail, but I'm just going to kind of shout out some examples of things that you guys should maybe think about when it comes to marketing yourself, okay? The first thing is making a professional looking website. Now there are plenty of free website creators out there like Weebly or WordPress or anyone's like that. If you're not sure how to create a website, I suggest maybe looking up YouTube videos of how to make your own website. There are, like I said, there are some really good YouTube tutorials out there that will teach you how to make a very professional looking website. Basically for free. The only thing that you'll probably have to pay for is the web hosting, which is like the domain name, for example. Like for me, my website is www.obrianmagic.com. So what I'm paying for is the right to have the website obrianmagic.com. I didn't have to pay anything to have my website, but just to be able to rent that web space, that domain name, you might have to pay for it. But very minimal, not anything expensive or crazy that you won't have to worry about. If you book one show, probably you'll cover it for a year, so you'll definitely get your money back on it. It's very important to have a professional looking website because when clients find out about you and they want to know a little bit more, they're going to visit your website and they're going to expect to see, certain things. Like for example, they might want to watch some videos, or maybe they might want to read a testimonial that someone else has written for you. Or maybe they want to see some pictures of you interacting with other guests. They want to read a little biography on your page to see, what is this magician all about? If I am a corporate, professional, for example, and I'm looking for, someone to do some strolling at my corporate event. Maybe we're having like a ceremony for the high-ranking employees of the company or something like that. If I'm looking at someone's website and I see that they're dressed like a clown and they perform, mostly at children's parties, I'm probably not going to want to book that magician. Which is why it's very important that, like I said before, you want to kind of choose who your target audience is going to be. Okay, that's really important. So, making a professional website is definitely probably the most important thing that you should do as far as your marketing goes. And along with that, so the second thing we're going to talk about is making a professional looking business card or business postcard. Now, the best business cards that I've seen are ones that basically get the point across without having a whole lot going on. So for me, for example, my business card has my name, it says that I'm a magician, it has my phone number, my email address, and my website address. So it's very minimal, it's very easy for them to read, and the cardstock that I use is very nice. So that right there, just when I hand someone my business card, the first thing that it tells them is, okay, this guy's a professional. He has a really nice business card, and he probably is going to be doing some kind of upper class event. He probably knows what he's doing. He's not just some guy with a deck of cards, okay? And that's kind of the image that you want to create with both your website and with your business card, okay? If you do a business postcard, it's a good idea to maybe put your picture on there, again with your basic contact information, and maybe some links to your social media, things like that. But again, the simpler the better. You want to just get your point across, who you are, so that someone can glance at that card and really understand, who you are, to get you interested, so that they can go to your website and that they can learn more about you and hopefully give you a call or shoot you an email asking you for a quote. That's the goal. You want to generate calls, you want to generate emails, you want to get interest, you want people to call you or email you and ask you, how much do you charge? Because that shows that they have interest, okay? All right. Next thing you want to do as far as marketing goes is take advantage of the social media. Now, the social media is probably the easiest and cheapest way to get your name out there. I'm talking about Facebook, I'm talking about Twitter, I'm talking about Instagram, I'm talking about YouTube, okay? All of these social media platforms are really easy ways to get, your name out there, to let people know who you are, to get people interested. You can post videos, you can post pictures, you can interact with people. So it's a really good idea to be active on the social media when you're trying to market yourself. There are, again, tutorials on YouTube that you guys can check out if you're not sure, how to use these platforms, or if you want to create an account. I assume if you're watching this YouTube video, you probably are aware of how social media works. But like I said, Google it, check it out, get on the social media and learn how to take advantage of it. For example, did you know that on Facebook, you can actually pay to have advertisements run? So for example, you're scrolling through Facebook feed and you see not anyone that you know, but you see a post there, and on it says paid advertisement. That means someone used Facebook to put, that ad on your Facebook profile. So you're popping up. You can choose what demographic to send it to. You can choose the area that you want to market to. You can choose who you want to market to. You can do the same thing with YouTube. You can do the same thing with Instagram. So it's really important to understand these things. And to be honest with you, it's not very expensive. You're not going to be paying a whole lot of money to get these ads put out there. And it's a really good idea if you're trying to market yourself for an event, or if you want to get your name out. It's a really good idea to get on the social media. Okay. Next up is advertising by word of mouth. Okay. Now, one thing that is really important is having good business relationships with the people that are either potential clients or past clients. A lot of my bookings come from referrals, whether it be a potential client that maybe just, couldn't afford to book me, or maybe they found someone else, but, maybe they'll pass my name along to someone else. Or if I hand out a business card, it's a good idea to hand out a couple business cards maybe to someone and say, hey, if you know anyone that's looking for a magician, please give them my card. Excuse me. Please give them my card. Let them know who I am. Let them check out my website, stuff like that. Also, past clients. So let's just say I just finished working an event. I can tell my client, hey, thank you so much for having me at this event. I really hope you enjoyed it. You're more than welcome to leave, a testimonial on my website, leave a review. And if you really enjoyed my services, please let your friends know. Tell them, hey, I booked Michael O'Brien. He's a really good magician. If you're ever looking for him at your event, like, oh, Susie, your wedding's coming up? I know a guy. Give this guy a call. So referrals are very, very important when it comes to advertising. Okay. Last but not least are any kind of other classified ads or other platforms on the internet. For example, there are classified or promotional websites that you can use to get your name out, like Craigslist or Angie's List, or Gig Salad. That's another good one. It's free to sign up on Gig Salad, Gig Masters, Thumbtack, just to name a few. Also, check out the local newspaper or the local, like Penny Saver, things like that. You might be able to take out an ad for very, affordable prices in the local newspaper, because some people still, believe it or not, some people still read the newspaper. Again, though, it depends on your demographic. Like for me, I might want to take out an ad in the newspaper because I know businessmen read newspapers, and I like to market myself to businesses, restaurants, things like that. So anyways, marketing is a very big deal because you can have the best act in the world, you can be the most confident magician, and you can be right dead on the price. But if no one knows who you are, and if no one knows where to look for you or how to get in touch with you, you're not going to get booked. So that's it for marketing and advertising. Now let's go ahead and take a look at how to book the gig. All right, so let's talk about getting the gig. So you've already discovered who you are, you've figured out what your routine's gonna be, you figured out who you're gonna market yourself to, you've created a website, you have some business cards made up, you've been blasting the social media, letting people know who you are. So now let's talk about getting the gig. Now there are hundreds upon thousands of tools that you can use, on the internet, books, things like this, to learn how to do things like make cold calls, talk to people, things like that. For the sake of keeping this video short, again, I'm not going to go into too much detail about those things, but what I am going to tell you is that there are two different type of clients that you're going to be interacting with, okay? And those two different types of clients are your private events and your public events, okay? Now your private events are gonna be things like birthday parties, family reunions, weddings, things like that, okay? These are your private events. When you're booking a private event, it is very, very important for you to connect with the person trying to book you on a, I guess you could say an empathetic level. Like you want to be able to put yourself in their shoes and know what they're looking for, okay? So for example, let's just say you are trying to book a wedding event, okay? You want to let the bride and groom know that they're not gonna have to stress out about, making sure that their guests at their wedding are being entertained. Not only are you there to do tricks for the people at the wedding, but you're also there to help everything go smoothly. You're gonna get people interacting with each other, okay? You're going to help out if, things start to go a little crazy. I don't know, maybe the DJ was trying to get, something and the equipment stopped working. And so now people are like, this is awkward. Jump in there, help them out, It's a good idea to let the client know that you are there not just to perform tricks for them, but that you really are there to help make for a seamless event that both their guests are gonna enjoy and they're gonna enjoy. Because, let's face it, if you wanted to, throw a party, you don't want to be stressing out about whether or not your guests are having a good time. You want to be able to enjoy the party, okay? So it's very, very important to connect with the guests on that level, okay? Now let's talk about public events, okay? I'm talking about, trade shows or restaurant work or things like that where you're going to be performing for the general public. You'll be hired by a private contract or private company. You'll be contracting yourself to a company, obviously, but you're going to be dealing with the general public rather than dealing with a private event, okay? Now, typically, when someone tries to book you for an event like this, they're looking for two things. How can we advertise ourselves and get more people to our event? How can we make money? Okay? Honestly, that's the bottom line. The magic itself almost becomes a secondary thing. So how do you market yourself to someone who wants to make money? Well, when you're dealing with these kinds of clients, you want to almost make it like a quid pro quo kind of thing. Like, hey, you're a businessman, I'm a businessman, let's do business together and, do something that's going to be mutually beneficial, okay? So the way that I pitch this to, like a corporate event or a restaurant, for example, is I am going to do free advertising for your event. All you have to do is book me to show up at your event. I'll do magic and entertain your guests. But more importantly than that, I'm going to get people at your event. How am I going to do that? Number one, by being there. By having the event or restaurant say that, hey, come on Wednesday nights, there's going to be a magician performing here. It might get people to want to show up, okay? Number two, I personally will be telling people, hey, come to this event. I will be performing at this restaurant. I will be performing at this live show, for example. So I'll be using my social media following, my email list. If I'm out on the street performing, I'm handing out business cards. Hey, if you guys like this, guess what? I'll be performing at, Rico's restaurant on Wednesday. Come check me out there again. So I'm getting people in the restaurant store. And what this translates to is they are making more money. Okay, it's really simple. There are a few little other tricks that you can do, like you can make up coupons So for example, while you're performing, maybe you're performing on the street, or maybe you're doing another event, you can hand out these coupons like, hey guys, I'll be at, you know, Joe's Crab Shack on, you know, this Tuesday. Come on this Tuesday and, you know, from this time to this time, and redeem this coupon and get, you know, $5 off an entree or something. You know, obviously you're going to work this out with the client. You're not going to just come up with this on your own. But there are little tricks that you can do to get more people in their business. So you want to see yourself like more of an advertising campaign that uses magic as your tool when you're marketing yourself to these types of clients. Okay, so that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something. Please like and share this video with your friends who might be interested in learning magic, so that they can maybe take their hobby to the next level and make some money doing something that they really enjoy. Also, don't forget to subscribe. We get a lot of cool content coming out. Every Friday I try to get a new blog going. You can check out my blogs at www.obrienmagic.com, or you can check it out right here on YouTube. Once again, thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. And until next time, everyone, keep practicing.